And then the third issue, or let's see, the fourth issue I'd like to talk very briefly, the one, big for Texas, big for the nation, of course, is immigration. And how are we going to solve the illegal immigration problem? Again, simple solution that we just need to find the courage to make happen. But we need to secure our borders and we need to start enforcing our laws. And once we do that, once the federal government demonstrates a commitment to solving the immigration problem, we can move forward with determining how we're going to develop a worker program that's going to match our labor needs with the temporary workforce coming across from America. The one thing that I am adamant about is the people who have come here legally at some point in the future need to go home. If they want to get in the citizenship line, they have to get in the citizenship line. I don't believe in a legalized path to citizenship or some sort of amnesty program. We've seen that in 1986. That was the basic program, amnesty, return for secure borders, worksite enforcement, and that was 3 million illegals here at that time, and here we are 20 years later with 12, 15, 20 million. No one is exactly sure. So we need to make sure, again, secure our borders, start enforcing our law, demonstrated commitment by the federal government, and then we can move forward with the rest. With that, because I can talk pretty much all day about anything, I will, I'll stop my comments briefly on the campaign. Things are going great. We've had a tremendous run. We've got offices up in Sugar Land. We've opened an office. Luke Marchant, my campaign manager back here, is wave your hand, Luke, just so you see him. And Lillian Keeney had a big part in it as well. Wave your hand, Lillian, the Mayor Pro Tem of Terry Lake Village. But anyway, we've got an office over there in Clear Lake. We've opened up in Clear Lake City. If you'd like to all to come by and help volunteer, we've got all sorts of opportunities from stuffing envelopes to actually getting out and block walking. In fact, we were out block walking yesterday for not a couple of hours, about 30 minutes before all heck broke loose. So I was really never getting friends with. But things have been going great. We've had tremendous support from people here in the district, such as yourselves, and we're getting the support that the party needs. We had the Vice President come down in June. We had the President come down in July. And things are just going well. I'm really looking forward to the future. This is a conservative Republican district. It's a 58% Republican district. So if we do the hard work that we need to do, which I promise you we'll do, and if y'all turn out and vote on November 4th, we win. It's that simple. And with that, now, I will thank you, Rusty, again for opening the Coffee Oasis to us. I will cease any remarks and be happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see where Nick Lampson is going to appear up here in Pasadena. I think it's tomorrow with Chris Cox, the NRA director. So I assume the NRA is supporting Lampson. Are they supporting you also?
The NRA is supporting Mr. Lampson. I mean, I'm a lifetime member of the NRA, but he's got, he's had a good run, and so they are supporting him. Now, we picked up the endorsement of the United States Chamber of Commerce, which represents 3 million businesses across the country on Thursday. And so we were quite proud of that, and we're moving forward.
This subject hasn't been discussed much lately, but I think it ties both into border security and illegal immigration, and that's the Trans-Texas corridor. What's going on? Is that a way to kill that? Is that still
the Trans-Texas corridor? Everybody hear the question is just what's going on with the Trans-Texas corridor? And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's the state of Texas's plan to expand the transportation infrastructure over the next 10 to 20 years. In the district, the biggest impact is out on the west side, out in Fort Bend County, where they were talking about turning, US 59, Interstate 69 into a Trans-Texas corridor. Those plans have been scrapped now, and what they're going to do is what they should have done all along is basically develop. They've got the roadway, the right-of-way already, but develop US 59 as an interstate highway to all the standards that interstate highways have, and that's the status there. The legislature, it's going to be an interesting session up in Austin, and if you feel strongly about it, I encourage you to contact your state rep, your state senator, because they're going to decide the future of the Trans-Texas corridor starting in January 2009.
Wasn't that initially going all the way up to Canada and they'd have unlimited access for trucks south of the border?
You know, the Texas portion was the thing that people were concerned about. Particularly, there was some very, very serious private property rights associated with the Trans-Texas corridor. And I was down a couple of years ago in the valley meeting with some landowners about the Trans-Texas corridor and just talk to them and get their concerns. And one gentleman, it just stuck with me because it's a great mental image, but he said, they're going to put the Mississippi River right down the middle of my ranch. Now, how do I work my ranch once that happens? How do I get my cattle from one side of the ranch across that river to the other side? I mean, it's going to destroy the value of my ranch. And it seems like, I mean, I don't support the Trans-Texas corridor. I don't think it was a well thought out idea, and we'll see what happens up in Austin. I'll do my best at the federal level to take care of it. Yes, sir, Mr. Keeney.
Have you commented about Mr. Lampson's conversion to drilling and?
Not yet. No, I'll do that.
Could you do that and describe?
Absolutely. On the energy, on all the issues. I mean, my opponent has dramatically changed his positions over the last 6 or 7 months from what he was doing for the first 9 years he was in Congress. And ANWR, the ANWR drilling is a great example. I mean, he is now supporting drilling in the Alaska National Wildlife Refuge, yet he voted 5 times in his previous stint as a congressman. He opposed drilling in the Alaska National Wildlife Refuge. One of those times, every proceed from that oil that was produced was going to be put into research to develop alternative sources of energy. The exact thing he's supporting now, and yet he voted against that. If he and like-minded Democrats had voted for that legislation 5 years ago, that oil would be in our market now, making a difference. And I mean, that's kind of, he comes down here, he comes back home to the district, he says one thing, he goes up to Washington, he says another. The first vote he cast when he got back into Congress last session was to make Nancy Pelosi the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. And that's given her, San Francisco liberal, control of the agenda, the entire agenda for the United States House. And we saw how problematic that is just a couple weeks ago when she said, we are not voting on any amendments that will allow drilling in Alaska or off the outer continental shelves, period.
I've seen